The massive alien ship hovered above Seoul, its metallic surface gleaming under the afternoon sun.
Kim Hyun-woo stood among the government officials, his heart racing but his face calm. Around him, soldiers gripped their weapons nervously, while scientists adjusted their equipment with trembling hands. Commander Eun-ji stepped forward, her tall blue-skinned figure towering over the human delegation. Her eyes, sharp and intelligent, scanned the humans with a mixture of curiosity and obvious disdain. Behind her, a team of alien researchers watched silently, their technology far more advanced than anything humanity had ever seen. "We have studied your planet for decades," she announced, her voice crystal clear through the translation devices.
"Humans are interesting, but ultimately primitive." Hyun-woo listened carefully. As the lead aerospace engineer from the International Space Research Center, he knew this moment was historic. Years of preparation, countless simulations, and endless research had led to this single moment of first contact. The aliens had arrived without warning. Their ship appeared suddenly in Earth's orbit, broadcasting messages of peaceful communication. But their definition of peaceful was different from human understanding. They spoke with condescension, treating humans like children who had yet to understand the complexity of the universe. "Your technological development is basic," Commander Eun-ji continued. "We have observed your attempts at space exploration. They are amusing." Several scientists behind Hyun-woo shifted uncomfortably. He understood their frustration. Humanity had achieved significant milestones, landing on the moon, exploring Mars, developing advanced quantum computing. Yet to these aliens, those achievements seemed like nothing more than child's play. Hyun-woo stepped forward. Unlike others, he showed no fear or anger. His eyes met the alien commander's, calm and calculating. "We may be different," he said slowly, "but we are eager to learn." The translation device converted his words, and for a moment, something flickered in Commander Eun-ji's eyes. Was it surprise? Respect? It was hard to tell. The alien delegation began their initial assessment. They collected samples, soil, water, air, and even small biological specimens. Their scanning technology was so advanced that they could analyze molecular structures in seconds, something that would take human scientists months or years. Around the ship, crowds had gathered. Some people were terrified, others excited. News channels broadcasted the event live, with reporters struggling to maintain their professional composure. This was not just another news story. This was a moment that would define human history forever. Hyun-woo watched as alien researchers moved with precision, their movements graceful and almost dance-like. Their technology seemed like magic. Holographic displays appearing from thin air, devices that could scan and analyze complex systems in milliseconds. The military remained on high alert. Tanks were positioned strategically, fighter jets circled overhead, and special forces were ready for any potential threat. But the aliens showed no signs of aggression. They were here to observe, to study, to judge. As the day progressed, more details emerged. The aliens came from a star system 157 light-years away. They had been monitoring Earth for decades, watching human development, tracking technological progress, and assessing potential threats or opportunities. "Your species is young," Commander Eun-ji told the human representatives. "You have potential, but much to learn." Hyun-woo knew this was just the beginning. The way humans responded to this first contact would determine their future relationship with this advanced civilization. One wrong move could lead to conflict, while careful diplomacy might open doors to unimaginable technological and scientific exchanges. The sun began to set, casting long shadows across Seoul. The alien ship continued to hover, a silent, massive presence that reminded everyone of how small humanity was in the vast universe. As night fell, Hyun-woo remained at the research center, analyzing the initial data, preparing reports, and wondering what this first encounter would mean for humanity's future. The world would never be the same again. Little did anyone know, this first contact was just the beginning of an extraordinary journey that would challenge everything humans thought they knew about themselves and their place in the universe. In the weeks following the alien arrival, the International Space Collaboration Center became a hive of intense activity. Hyun-woo worked tirelessly, examining genetic samples collected during the first contact.
The alien researchers had been surprisingly cooperative, sharing preliminary data that hinted at something extraordinary. Dr. Lee Soo-jin, the lead geneticist, carefully placed a slide under the advanced microscope. Her breath caught in her throat as she examined the cellular structures. Something was different, really different. Human and alien DNA seemed to have unexpected similarities. It was subtle, almost invisible to the untrained eye, but Hyunwoo noticed patterns that defied conventional genetic understanding. The alien genetic code contained unique markers that seemed to react unusually when placed near human genetic material.
"This is impossible," Soo-jin muttered, adjusting the microscope settings. Hyunwoo leaned closer. The genetic strands appeared to be communicating. Not in any way science had ever observed before. It was as if the alien and human genetic codes were having a silent conversation, testing boundaries, exploring potential connections. The research team worked around the clock. Coffee machines ran constantly, and takeout food became their primary source of nutrition. They knew they were on the verge of something groundbreaking. Commander Eun-ji visited the research center, her blue skin reflecting the harsh laboratory lights. She watched the human scientists with a mixture of curiosity and growing respect. The initial mockery in her eyes had been replaced by something else, a genuine interest. "Your genetic potential is more complex than we initially calculated," she told Hyunwoo during one of their meetings. Preliminary tests revealed shocking results. Human DNA showed an unprecedented ability to adapt, to modify, to respond to external genetic stimuli. It was like discovering a hidden language within the human genetic code, a language that could potentially communicate with other species. The alien researchers became increasingly interested. What made human genetics so unique? How could a seemingly primitive species have such remarkable genetic flexibility? Late one night, Hyunwoo discovered something that would change everything. Certain human genetic markers showed an ability to integrate with alien genetic structures in ways that defied current scientific understanding. It wasn't just compatibility, it was potential transformation. "We need to run more tests," he told Soo-jin, his hands shaking slightly. The government and scientific community became divided. Some saw this as a breakthrough, others as a potential threat. Military officials wanted to restrict the research, while scientific teams pushed for more exploration. Alien researchers began spending more time in the laboratory. They brought advanced equipment that made human technology look like children's toys. Holographic displays showed genetic structures dancing in three-dimensional space, revealing complex interactions that were previously invisible. Hyunwoo noticed something else. The alien researchers were no longer looking down on humans. Their interactions changed. They asked questions. They listened. They seemed genuinely curious about human potential. One evening, as the laboratory hummed with quiet activity, Soo-jin made a breakthrough. She discovered that human genetic material could potentially repair and enhance alien genetic structures. It was like finding a universal genetic key that could unlock mysteries of biological adaptation. "This changes everything," she whispered. Commander Eun-ji reviewed the results, her expression unreadable. The initial mockery had completely disappeared. Now, there was something else, respect, and perhaps a hint of excitement. Hyunwoo understood they were witnessing something historic. This wasn't just about scientific discovery. This was about understanding the potential of life itself, how different species could connect, communicate, and potentially transform each other. The research continued. Each day brought new discoveries, new questions, and the growing realization that humanity might be far more special than anyone had ever imagined. Outside the research center, the world waited. News leaked slowly, creating a mixture of excitement and fear. Humanity stood on the edge of a genetic revolution, and nobody knew exactly what would happen next. The first signs appeared quietly, almost unnoticed. Dr. Lee Soo-jin was reviewing medical scans when she realized something was different. 3 alien researchers from the initial team were pregnant, a biological impossibility according to everything science had previously understood. Initial tests confirmed the unbelievable. These pregnancies were not just viable, but showed extraordinary genetic characteristics.
The hybrid embryos developed at an unprecedented rate, combining complex genetic markers from both human and alien DNA. Commander Unji was the first to receive the news.
Her reaction was not what anyone expected. Instead of anger or fear, she showed a mix of scientific curiosity and something that almost resembled hope.
"This changes everything," she told Hyun-woo, her blue skin seeming to shimmer with an unusual intensity. The alien matriarchal society erupted into chaos. Their rigid genetic protocols, maintained for thousands of years, suddenly faced complete disruption. Emergency meetings were called across their home planet, with scientists and political leaders struggling to understand this unexpected development.
Hyun-woo watched the genetic data carefully.
The hybrid embryos were developing extraordinary capabilities.
They showed increased neural connectivity, enhanced cellular regeneration, and genetic adaptability that defied previous scientific understanding. In the research facility, strict protocols were established. The pregnant alien researchers were provided with specialized care, monitored constantly by both human and alien medical teams. Each day brought new surprises, new discoveries that challenged everything they knew about biological reproduction. The alien society's communication networks buzzed with tension. Some saw this as a threat, others as an unprecedented opportunity for genetic evolution.
Traditional leaders argued for stopping the pregnancies, while younger researchers pushed for continued observation. One of the pregnant researchers, named Kira, became a focal point of the research. Her embryo showed the most remarkable genetic development. Neural scans revealed brain structures that combined the analytical precision of alien genetics with the creative adaptability of human DNA.
"It's like watching a new form of life being born," Sujin whispered during one of the examinations. The global reaction was mixed.
Some humans feared an alien invasion, while others saw this as the most significant scientific breakthrough in human history.
News leaked slowly, creating a worldwide sensation that challenged fundamental understanding of biology, reproduction, and interspecies interaction. Hyun-woo understood the deeper implications. This wasn't just about making babies.
This was about genetic potential, about the possibility of two completely different species finding a way to connect, to create something entirely new. Commander Unji began to change. The initial mockery had completely disappeared. Now, she looked at humans with a growing sense of respect and genuine scientific interest. The hybrid pregnancies had transformed their relationship in ways nobody could have predicted.
Security was incredibly tight. Military officials watched closely, ready to intervene if necessary. But there was nothing threatening about these pregnancies. If anything, they represented hope, a biological bridge between two completely different species. Genetic tests revealed surprising details.
The hybrid embryos showed enhanced healing capabilities, advanced cognitive potential, and a genetic flexibility that suggested they could adapt to multiple environmental conditions.
They were neither fully human nor fully alien, but something entirely new. As months passed, the scientific community watched in anticipation.
The first hybrid births would change everything: how species interact, how life is understood, how genetic potential is perceived. Hyun-woo knew they were witnessing something historic. This was more than a scientific discovery. This was the beginning of a new chapter in universal understanding. The alien society held its breath. Their most rigid genetic protocols were being challenged by something they never expected: the incredible potential of human genetic material. In the quiet of the research facility, life was preparing to make its most unexpected statement. A new form of existence was about to be born, bridging gaps between species that were once thought impossible to cross. Nobody knew exactly what would happen next. But everyone understood that nothing would ever be the same again. The first hybrid children arrived in a carefully controlled research facility on the outskirts of Seoul. They were unlike anything anyone had ever seen before: small beings with skin that seemed to shimmer between human tones and a soft blue silver, eyes that changed color depending on their emotional state. Hyun-woo watched as the first child, named Kai, demonstrated abilities that defied human understanding.
At just 3 months old, Kai could solve complex mathematical problems that would challenge most adult scientists.
His neural connections processed information at speeds that made supercomputers seem slow.
Dr. Lee Soo-jin conducted daily assessments. The hybrid children showed extraordinary capabilities.
They learned languages instantly, adapted to complex environmental changes within minutes, and displayed an emotional intelligence that blended human empathy with alien analytical precision. The military watched carefully. Some saw potential weapons, others saw a new form of human evolution. But the children were more than just scientific specimens. They were living, breathing miracles of genetic potential. Kai could generate small electrical currents with his hands, a skill that fascinated and terrified researchers. Another hybrid child, named Arya, demonstrated the ability to heal minor injuries through a complex biological process that combines cellular regeneration from both human and alien genetic structures.
Commander Unji visited frequently, her initial mockery completely transformed into genuine wonder.
The hybrid children looked at her with eyes that seemed to understand more than they should. They spoke multiple languages, solved complex problems, and showed an adaptability that suggested they were the next step in biological evolution.
The global scientific community watched in amazement.
These children were not just a genetic experiment, they were living proof that species could connect in ways nobody had ever imagined. Their brains worked differently, processing information through neural networks that combined the best of human creativity and alien analytical precision.
Hyunwoo noticed something else. The hybrid children showed an extraordinary emotional depth.
They could read emotional states with incredible accuracy, bridge communication gaps, and demonstrate a level of empathy that seemed almost supernatural.
Security was tight, but the children didn't feel like prisoners.
The research facility was more like an advanced learning center, with environments that challenged and stimulated their incredible cognitive abilities. They learned multiple disciplines simultaneously, absorbing knowledge like advanced biological computers. The alien society began to change. Their rigid genetic protocols crumbled in the face of these hybrid children. What was once considered impossible was now a living, breathing reality. The children represented a bridge between species, a new form of existence that challenged everything they knew about life and evolution.
Genetic tests continued to reveal surprising details.
The hybrid children showed enhanced immune systems, accelerated healing capabilities, and neuroplasticity that suggested they could adapt to virtually any environment.
They were neither fully human nor fully alien, but something entirely new. One afternoon, Kai demonstrated an ability to communicate telepathically with other hybrid children. It was subtle at first, a shared understanding that went beyond verbal communication. Researchers watched in amazement as these children created a form of connection that transcended traditional communication methods. Commander Unji approached Hyunwoo during one of the observation sessions. "We were wrong about humans," she said quietly. "So completely wrong." The hybrid children represented more than a scientific breakthrough. They were living proof of the incredible potential that existed when different species could connect, communicate, and create something entirely new. As the children grew, their abilities became more pronounced. They showed skills in technology, medicine, communication, and problem-solving that suggested they could solve challenges that had long challenged both human and alien societies. Hyunwoo understood they were witnessing the birth of something extraordinary. These children were not just a genetic experiment, they were the future. A future that promised connection, understanding, and possibilities that nobody had ever imagined possible. The world watched and waited. The hybrid children represented hope, a biological bridge that suggested that life, in all its complexity, could find ways to connect, to understand, to evolve. As the hybrid children grew older, they began to reshape the understanding of both human and alien societies. Kai, now a teenager, became a key diplomat bridging the communication between Earth and the alien civilization. His ability to understand complex political and cultural nuances made him invaluable. The galactic community watched in amazement. What had started as a simple genetic curiosity had transformed into a complete paradigm shift. Humanity was no longer seen as a primitive species, but as a critical genetic resource with unprecedented potential for adaptation and evolution. Hyunwoo observed the changing dynamics from the research center. The alien civilization that once looked down on humans now sought their collaboration. Trade agreements, scientific exchanges, and diplomatic relations underwent a complete transformation. Commander Unji became a primary advocate for this new understanding. Her previous contempt had been replaced by genuine respect.
The hybrid children demonstrated capabilities that went far beyond what anyone had imagined possible. They could solve complex global challenges, bridge communication gaps, and create innovative solutions that neither humans nor aliens could develop independently. The first interstellar collaborative missions began. Hybrid teams composed of humans, aliens, and hybrid individuals worked together on complex space exploration projects. They developed technologies that seemed like magic: advanced propulsion systems, medical breakthroughs, and communication methods that transcended traditional limitations.
Kai's diplomatic skills became legendary.
During a critical negotiation between 3 different alien civilizations, he managed to find solutions that had seemed impossible. His ability to understand multiple perspectives, combined with his advanced cognitive abilities, made him a crucial global and interstellar mediator. The hybrid children's genetic potential changed everything. They showed enhanced problem-solving skills, extraordinary empathy, and an ability to adapt to virtually any environment.
Scientific research suggested they could potentially survive in conditions that would be fatal to both humans and their alien predecessors. Global institutions transformed. Educational systems were completely redesigned to nurture the kind of adaptive thinking demonstrated by the hybrid children.
Universities developed new programs that combine multiple disciplines, encouraging the type of holistic thinking that these children naturally possessed.
Hyunwoo watched as the world changed around him.
The initial fear and uncertainty had been replaced by a sense of hope and possibility. Humanity had gone from being considered a primitive species to becoming a critical component of galactic development.
The alien civilization's genetic research underwent a complete revolution. Their previously rigid genetic protocols were dismantled, replaced by a more flexible approach that celebrated genetic diversity and potential. The hybrid children had become living proof that evolution could take unexpected and miraculous paths. Military strategies changed. Instead of focusing on conflict, global and interstellar defense systems now emphasized communication, understanding, and collaborative problem-solving. The hybrid children demonstrated that true strength came from connection, not confrontation. Kai and the other hybrid children became global ambassadors.
They spoke multiple languages, understood complex cultural nuances, and could navigate diplomatic challenges with unprecedented skill. Their very existence challenged traditional concepts of species, communication, and potential.
Commander Eun-ji reflected on the journey.
What had started as a moment of condescension had transformed into a profound understanding of life's incredible potential. The hybrid children represented hope, a biological and cultural bridge that suggested that different species could not just coexist, but truly collaborate.
Scientific breakthroughs came rapidly.
Medical technologies advanced, space exploration capabilities expanded, and understanding of genetic potential reached new heights. The hybrid children were at the forefront of these developments, their unique genetic structure driving innovation in ways nobody had previously imagined.
As years passed, the initial shock transformed into acceptance.
The hybrid children were no longer seen as an experiment but as a new form of intelligent life. They represented the best of multiple species, the creativity of humans, the analytical precision of aliens, and a unique potential that was entirely their own.